Welcome to Your Cyber Path, the podcast that helps you get your dream cybersecurity job by sharing the secrets of experienced hiring managers and top cybersecurity professionals with you. Now, on to the show.
First thing about internships that I want to say is they're not common. Like in the private sector, there aren't many internships. And why is that? Well, one reason why I've observed is because they're a long play on talent development. In other words, if I go to my boss, if I'm the chief information security officer and I say, I want to start up an internship program, my boss might say, great, fill out a business case on that. And I'll go get the business case template and I'll look at it and it'll say things like, how much money do you need? What's the return on investment for this? What are the business benefits? And a lot of organizations, their business cases are really slewed towards, what am I going to get in 90 days, right? And that's not the nature of this at all. So it can be very difficult to get the money that you need and the commitment that you need to start an internship program in the private sector. And I think that's one of the reasons why we don't see very many. But Jason, from your point of view, I think what you've been telling me is that's really not the case. Like internships on the government side are a lot more common. Is that a fair way for me to say it?
Yeah, I think it's more common. I see a lot more in the government world, especially for the government civilian employees, which are what we call GSs. And for a government civilian, that is where you basically work and you are a W-2 employee of the federal government for either the military, for Department of Treasury, for the IRS, for Homeland Security or something like that. Personally, I know when I graduated and got my master's degree from University of Maryland, there was a program that they were part of, the National Cyber Education Initiative or something like that. It's one of those 3 or 4 letter acronyms. And it was partnered with the NSA. And so the NSA actually has a partnership with about 100 schools around the country that says, if you do your program a certain way and your students get a certain grade point average, they will automatically be offered an internship or a position with us when they graduate. And so when I graduated, I got a letter from the NSA saying, hey, we would like you to come join us. We'll make you a GS9 since you got your master's degree in cybersecurity from this school and you had a 3.8 GPA. We're interested. We think you'd make a great fit. Now they assumed I have no experience. They assumed I have no knowledge, no certifications, just that degree and a certain grade point average. But that was enough for them to say, that's interesting. We will bring you in as an intern for 6 months, a paid internship to help you through that and get some experience. And so
that's really
that exists. Those are things you should look at. And I think this goes back to, you said the business case, right?
Yeah.
As a organization, i.e. the government, they can afford to have more of a long-term play on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because if I bring somebody as an intern, as a GS9 in the Fort Meade area where NSA is, makes around $60,000 to $80,000 a year. So it's not a cheap internship for them either. But they're hoping they're going to get you in, they're going to get you your clearance, they're going to find value in you, bring you on as a full-time employee, and then you'll have a career with them, hopefully over the next 15, 20 years because they gave you a shot. That doesn't always work out. Sometimes people will do that for their 6 months, get their clearance, get their internship, and then they'll jump over to a government contract because now they have a clearance and they have some certs and that kind of thing. And honestly, for the government's perspective, they're kind of okay with that too, because whether you're going to work for them as a GS, a government civilian, or you're going to work for them as a contractor under Booz Allen or one of the other big contracting firms, to them, they're still getting the talent they need, right? And so
yes.
I think there's a different ROI. Whereas if Booz Allen, Hamilton was having this internship program and they trained you for 6 months and then you left for General Dynamics or Lockheed Martin, they're going to be pissed because they spent 6 months training you, getting you the experience. And now you're going over there because you can make more money now that you have some experience, right?
And that's one of the reasons why, that's another reason why they don't tend to fund internship programs in the private sector because, again, it's like, where's our ROI? We just poured a ton of money into this person and they walked. Right. Yep. So for them, they see it as a transaction. And I think most people in the private sector do see, people issues in terms of transactions, which is unfortunate. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's a failure to invest